These perfect living masters don't come to make us better people. There are thousands of reformers who are trying to make us better people. Most of them fail, but anyway, they're trying. And there's so many people who are trying to reform our lives and make them better. There's so many technical things happening to make our lives easier and better. Perfect living masters don't come for that. They don't come here to change anything here. They come here to pick up those souls which are ready to go home. The ones, when they left their true home, said, what if we are tired of that experience? What if we don't like it anymore? What if we are fed up, don't want to be there anymore? They got an assurance from totality itself. At that time, the totality of consciousness will appear in a human form and take you back home. That's actually the role of a perfect living master. A perfect living master is a human being with that consciousness comes to take those who are ready, who are at that time ready. Now, if somebody says, I am a great seeker, but I love this world, don't believe it. I'm a seeker of real truth. Well, let him find real truth in nature then, because he's all outside. His truth lies outside. He need not go to a perfect living master. He can go to other masters who teach him other things. But a person who says, I found out this is not my place. My life has taught me a lesson. I don't belong here. I feel it, I don't belong here. And I want to seek where I belong. When that feeling comes, you are ready. And when you are ready, a perfect living master appears in your life. He is so ordinary, there's no way you can find him. If you go out searching for a perfect living master, you'll never find one. Because you'll find hundreds of people claiming to be perfect living masters, claiming to be enlightened, claiming to have so much awareness and knowledge. When they claim, they have not even controlled their ego. What else will they control? By making those claims, they are showing off what they have. They are not realized souls at all. Perfect living masters never say that they are masters. They never claim. What they claim is they have come to be our friends, to have a hand of friendship, because they recognize us. And we recognize them too, with little bit of doubt. Because mind is functioning. Mind has been programmed to create doubt. A very good thing. People may say it's not good to doubt. I say it's a very good thing. If you did not doubt, you would never seek clarification. You would be gullible. Anybody says anything, you will believe it. Doubt and skepticism is very good on the spiritual path. Unless you have doubt and skepticism, you will never probe further into the truth. You just accept whatever it says and you will be a victim of blind faith. But this path is not a blind faith. Therefore, skepticism is good. That you should question. Question. Let the mind be active in questioning and have reasonable satisfaction. Okay, I'm willing to give it a try. What happens meanwhile? While the mind is doing this, questioning and skepticism, these perfect living masters are doing something else, which we don't notice originally. They are showering some love upon us, which sometimes creeps in, sometimes doesn't. Slowly it creeps in more. Slowly it soaks us. And slowly we forget the mind even, that love is so overpowering. Because love is not coming from the mind. Neither of the master nor ours. Therefore, it's the unconditional love of a master that really pulls us and subdues the mind. And answers all questions that the mind was asking. Questions become irrelevant. We feel we don't have any questions left. What makes us do that? What makes a strong skeptic, a person full of doubts, suddenly turn, say, I have no more questions? What has happened? It's an experience of love that you never experienced before. What's the difference in the love that we experience with such a person, whom we call a perfect living master, and other loves that we have? Most loves are based upon give and take. I love you, do you love me? That question is there. It is an experience of two. Experience of you and the beloved and exchange. There are conditions attached. The love of a perfect living master is always completely unconditional. There is no judgment involved. A perfect living master does not come to judge us. He knows that we are judging ourselves with our mind all the time. Judgment is a trap by itself. We have put ourselves in a big trap by enabling a machine, a mind, to keep judging us and then saying, oh, you did wrong, and putting guilt which we carry for life sometimes. What kind of life is this? Where we are putting more and more guilt into ourselves by judgment of our own mind. And that's our life. Suddenly, a human being appears in our life whose love is unconditional. He loves you whether you love him or not. He loves you if you hate him. He loves you if you kill him. That kind of love is not ordinary. And that's the kind of love that comes from true perfect living master. If this is not there, I would say it's not a perfect living master. I think the most essential qualification of a perfect living master with that awareness is his love should be completely non-judgmental and unconditional. But the effect upon us of unconditional love is so strong that the mind's doubts, no matter how many they were, no matter how much skepticism you have, that love overpowers and makes the mind sit aside. Otherwise, the mind is always in front. Now look at, love is not only with a perfect living master or with God or with totality, love is with people. We love the master too because although he is a human being, ordinary human being. Why do we love him? Because we are responding to his love. We always respond. And very often the love that we are expressing is called devotion. That is why love and devotion go together. And we are, in a way, responding when we say we are loving. We are devoting. And devotion starts developing in us, automatically responds to love.